For years, you've been sold a lie. A comfortable, safe, easy lie. The lie that being nice is the ultimate virtue. That if you're just kind enough, just accommodating enough, just self-sacrificing enough, you'll be rewarded. You'll get the respect you deserve, the promotions, the relationships, the life. But deep down, you know the truth. That's not how it works. You see, the people who get ahead, they aren't the nicest. They're the most effective. They have a gravity to them, a presence that commands attention without begging for it. They don't apologize for existing. They aren't cruel, but they aren't nice either. They are powerful. And that power isn't about controlling others. It's about finally, for the first time, having full control over yourself, your boundaries, your time, your energy, your value. This is about rewiring that need for external validation and replacing it with an internal code. This is about stopping the endless people-pleasing and starting to build a life that genuinely pleases you. This isn't about becoming a villain. This is about ceasing to be a victim. Let's be brutally honest about what being nice really is. In most cases, it's not authentic kindness. Authentic kindness is a strength. It's generosity from a place of abundance. What we're talking about, this nice behavior, is fear in disguise. It's the fear of conflict, the fear of rejection, the fear of being seen as difficult or arrogant. It's a strategy, a weak one, to avoid potential discomfort. You say yes when you desperately want to say no. You laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You absorb disrespect because rocking the boat seems scarier than slowly sinking. You trade little pieces of your self-respect for temporary social approval. And every time you do it, you send a signal, not just to them, but to your own psyche. You tell yourself, my comfort is less important than theirs. My time is less valuable than theirs. My desires are negotiable. This isn't nobility. It's self-betrayal. And the world treats you exactly how you teach them to treat you. You've taught people that you are flexible, that your boundaries are soft, that your priorities can be easily moved. So they do. They take. And you let them because you're nice. Power, real power, begins with a single, non-negotiable realization. Your worth is not up for debate. It is not determined by how useful you are to others, how agreeable you are, or how much you sacrifice. Your worth is a fixed constant. It is the foundation. Everything else is built on top of it. This shift is everything. It moves you from seeking permission to granting it, from hoping for respect to expecting it. This isn't about walking into a room and thinking you're better than everyone else. It's about walking into a room and not needing to compare yourself to anyone else at all. Your validation comes from within, from your own standards, your own code, your own accomplishments. This internal scorecard is your greatest weapon. The moment you stop looking for the crowd to cheer is the moment you become truly free. You operate from a place of purpose, not praise. This confidence is quiet. It doesn't need to announce itself. It's in the steady gaze, the firm handshake, the calm tone of voice that doesn't rise in pitch to form a question at the end of a statement. It's the energy of a man who knows his own value and is too focused on his mission to constantly reassure everyone else of his niceness. The first practical step out of the nice guy prison and into power is the mastery of the word no. For the people pleaser, no feels like a confrontation. It feels like you're personally rejecting the other person, and the anxiety of that feeling is so overwhelming that you capitulate. You must reframe this. No is not a rejection of the person. It is an affirmation of your own priorities. It is the primary tool for protecting your most valuable assets, your time and your focus. Every time you say yes to something you don't want to do, you are saying no to something that matters to you, your goals, your rest, your growth. You are voting against yourself. Start small. The next time you're asked to do something that is an inconvenience, that you would only do out of obligation, pause. Do not give an automatic yes. Buy yourself time. Say, let me check my schedule and get back to you. This simple phrase breaks the automatic people-pleasing reflex. It gives you space to decide, does this align with my goals? Do I genuinely want to do this? If the answer is no, then your response is clear, calm, and direct. I won't be able to help with that. No long, rambling apologies. No elaborate excuses that invite negotiation. A clear, clean no is a complete sentence. It will feel uncomfortable at first. You will feel a wave of anxiety. Write it out. That anxiety is the feeling of your old, weak self dying. It's the feeling of your new spine hardening. The more you do it, the more you will realize the world does not end. People, the right people, will actually respect you more for it. You are teaching them that your time is valuable, and by extension, that you are valuable. This leads directly to the architecture of boundaries. Boundaries are not walls to keep people out. They are the gates and fences that define your property line. They make it clear where you end and someone else begins. A man without boundaries is like a house with no doors. Anyone can walk in, take what they want, and leave a mess. And they will. Establishing boundaries is how you communicate your worth without having to say a word. It's preemptive. It's the policy, not the emergency response. Think about the areas where you feel drained, used, or resentful. That is a direct signal of a missing boundary. It could be with a friend who constantly complains but never seeks solutions, a family member who makes passive-aggressive comments, or a coworker who dumps their last-minute work on your desk. The process is simple but not easy. First, identify the behavior that is unacceptable. Second, decide what the consequence will be if that behavior continues. Third, communicate it calmly and clearly. For example, I enjoy our conversations, but I can't be a sounding board for constant complaints about work. If the conversation turns to that, I'm going to change the subject or end the call. Then, and this is the most critical part, you must enforce it. Every single time. Without emotion. If they continue, you change the subject. If they persist, you end the call. You have to be willing to follow through. This is not punishment. This is training. You are training people on how to treat you. Initially, they might be surprised. They might push back. They might accuse you of being an asshole. But a man who is certain of his own code does not flinch at this. He knows that a temporary moment of discomfort is a worthy price for long-term peace and respect. The people who are worth keeping in your life will adapt and will respect you more for it. The others will filter themselves out. This is not a loss. It is a necessary upgrade of your social environment. This entire transformation is fueled by a change in language, both internal and external. The nice man uses weak language. He prefaces everything with apologies. Sorry to bother you, but I was just wondering if maybe. He uses qualifiers that dilute his message. It's just my opinion, but this might be a stupid idea. He ends statements with an upward inflection, turning them into questions, seeking approval. So I think we should go with this strategy. This language screams insecurity. It tells everyone listening that you don't trust your own thoughts, and you need their validation to proceed. Powerful communication is direct, simple, and declarative. It owns its space. Cut the apologies for existing. You are not a bother. You are a person with something to say. State your ideas with conviction. The strategy we should use is X. Drop the qualifiers. Your opinion is your opinion. You don't need to sandpaper the edges off it to make it palatable for others. Speak in statements, not questions. This isn't about being loud or domineering. It's about being clear and grounded. Your voice should come from your chest, not your throat. It should be measured and calm. This external shift in speech will directly influence your internal state. The words you use program your own mind. When you stop using weak language, you stop reinforcing weak neural pathways. You start to believe your own declarations. Your posture changes. You stop making yourself small. You occupy your physical space fully. This is the feedback loop of power. Act with purpose, and you begin to feel purposeful. Underpinning all of this is a fundamental shift in your hierarchy of values. The nice man values harmony above all else. He wants to avoid waves. The powerful man values truth and integrity. He would rather have a temporary, honest conflict than a permanent, dishonest peace. He understands that true respect cannot exist without honesty. This means being honest with yourself first. Acknowledging your own desires, your ambitions, your frustrations, your anger. Not suppressing them because they aren't nice. Then, it means being honest with others. Not brutally honest, which is often just cruelty disguised as truth, but directly honest. This is where most men fail. They think the only options are to silently seethe or to explode in anger. There is a vast, powerful middle ground. Calm, direct, unemotional communication. If someone's work is subpar, you don't gossip about it to others, nice guy behavior, or scream about it. Weak, emotional behavior. You address it with the person directly, focusing on the facts and the solution. This report didn't meet the required standard for X and Y reasons. I need you to revise it with these points addressed by tomorrow. No anger, no personal attacks, no sugarcoating. Just the truth, delivered cleanly. This is how leaders operate. They deal with reality as it is, not as they wish it would be. They understand that a small, contained conflict now prevents a massive, explosive crisis later. By prioritizing truth over temporary harmony, you build relationships based on reality and respect, not on fiction and fear. This journey from nice to powerful is, at its core, a reclamation of your energy. Every time you say a false yes, every time you fail to set a boundary, every time you use weak language, you are leaking energy. You are pouring your focus, your attention, your life force into maintaining a facade that benefits everyone but you. You are draining your own battery to power someone else's devices. When you stop, when you start saying no, when you enforce boundaries, when you communicate directly, you plug those leaks. All that energy, that massive amount of mental bandwidth previously spent on anxiety, overthinking, resentment, and people-pleasing, gets funneled back into you. It becomes fuel. Fuel for your ambition. Fuel for your creativity. Fuel for your deep focus. Fuel for the things that actually matter to you. You will find yourself with more time, more clarity, and more vitality. This energy is magnetic. It attracts opportunity. It attracts the right kind of people. It commands a different kind of attention. Not the attention you get from being useful, but the attention you get from being undeniable. This is the ultimate goal, to become so focused on your own mission, so secure in your own value, so deliberate with your energy. That power isn't something you have to try to exert. It's simply the energy you radiate by being fully, unapologetically, and effectively yourself. The transformation is not a single event, but a series of daily choices, a relentless application of a new set of principles. It begins with the minute-to-minute awareness of your own impulses, the urge to apologize for no reason, the instinct to defer, the temptation to soften your stance to make others comfortable. Each moment presents a fork in the road. One path leads back to the familiar comfort of niceness, a path of least resistance that ultimately erodes your foundation. The other path, less traveled, feels unnatural at first, charged with the friction of change, but it forges a stronger self. This is the practice of sovereignty. It's taking ownership not just of your actions, but of your reactions, your emotions, and your interpretations of events. The powerful man does not blame external circumstances for his internal state. He recognizes that while he cannot control every event, he retains absolute authority over his response. This is the bedrock of mental toughness. When a project fails, the nice guy looks for someone to blame or falls into self-pity. The powerful man conducts a clean, honest postmortem. What did I learn? How do I adapt? Then he moves forward, heavier with experience, but not weighed down by regret. This emotional resilience is a superpower. It means you are no longer a puppet whose strings are pulled by outside events or the opinions of others. You become the operator of your own life. Your center of gravity is internal, unshakable. This is what allows you to remain calm in a crisis, to make clear decisions under pressure, to project a stability that others can rely upon. That reliability becomes your reputation. This new mode of being will inevitably change your relationships. And this is often the greatest point of fear for men making this shift. You worry that people will leave, that you'll be seen as cold, that you'll be alone. This fear is the final ghost of the nice guy mentality, and it must be confronted. The truth is, some relationships will change. The people who benefited most from your lack of boundaries, who thrived on your endless generosity without reciprocation, will resist. They may guilt-trip you, accuse you of changing, of thinking you're too good for them. See this for what it is, a test. They are testing the durability of your new boundaries. If you fold, you confirm that your new identity is fragile. If you hold, you pass the test. You communicate, through action, that the old dynamic is over. Some of these people will adapt, and the relationship will evolve into something more honest and equitable. Others will fade away. This is not a loss. It is a necessary pruning of dead weight, making room for new growth. Simultaneously, you will find that your relationships with high-quality, secure, and accomplished people will improve dramatically. They will respect you more. They will engage with you more directly. They will trust you more because your yes will truly mean yes, and your no will mean no. You become a man of your word, and trustworthy men attract other trustworthy individuals. Your romantic relationships will transform. You will stop seeking validation from a partner and start looking for a true compliment, someone who adds to your life, not someone who completes you because you felt incomplete. You attract a different caliber of partner when you stop being a supplicant and start being a sovereign. The final, and perhaps most subtle, aspect of this power is the cultivation of a calm and observant mind. The nice guy is often reactive. His emotional state is a reflection of his environment. Someone is angry, so he becomes anxious. Someone is disappointed, so he feels guilty. He is like a chameleon, changing colors to blend in, but in the process, he loses his own. The powerful man cultivates detachment. This is not indifference or coldness. It is the ability to observe a situation without being immediately hijacked by it. It is the pause between stimulus and response. In that pause lies your freedom. When criticized, the nice guy either crumbles or becomes defensive. The powerful man, in that pause, assesses, is there truth in this? If yes, he assimilates it without ego, thanks the person, and improves. If no, he discards it without a second thought and moves on, unaffected. His self-worth is not ping-ponging around based on the opinions of others. This observational stance makes you a better strategist. You stop getting caught in the emotional drama of the moment and start seeing the underlying patterns, the